In this bag right here, I have some of the newest releases that I'm so excited. And I actually think I may separate this video in two different ones because I have all the Patrick Ta new blushes and the new blush brush. So I'm going to dedicate a whole video to that. And I think in this video, I'm going to focus more on the new Rare Beauty bronzers. I picked up 3 shades just so we can swatch. I do have the new NATASHA DENONA mini eyeshadow palette, Sculpt palette. Now, I don't ever buy these from NATASHA DENONA, but this one, I saw it and I was like, yes, I think I'm going to get use out of that one. And I also have some new Armani Liquid Highlighters. I didn't even know these were out. I'm very excited to try them. So that's what we're going to do in this video, but make sure you subscribe and your notifications on so that way you won't miss the next one, which is a new Patrick Ta blushes, all of them swatched, and I'm going to do comparison with some of his old ones. So that's what we're doing today. I'm excited. Get your coffee, get your tea, and let's hang out. I am going to start with these Rare Beauty bronzers. I'm so excited for this. I have here 3 colors. The lightest one, I think, Mellow, Solace, and Gentle, and these are $28 each, and then it comes in 7 different shades. It says it's a natural finish, long wearing. It's pretty much supposed to be like their blushes but bronzers. However, I'm curious if the pigment is just as intense. You know, I am not a fan of super pigmented bronzers or blushes. I would rather be able to build up the color rather than have full pigment, which is why the Rare Beauty blushes were not my favorite. I like them, but it's just, they're not my go-to. I think they're just a little difficult to work with, too much pigment for me. So I steer towards other ones like the Armani liquid blushes, the YSL liquid blushes, the Rhode blushes. I've just fallen in love with them. By the way, have you seen the new Rhode lip liners? I am so excited about those. I will absolutely review them, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So these bronzers, I'm just curious if they're gonna be just as pigmented or not. And I did swatch the first 4 shades in store on my hand, and I was kind of confused with the colors. I didn't know which one to pick, and I thought you guys would be confused too, so I picked up the 3 lightest ones. So let's look at them. This is, I think, the lightest one, Gentle. First of all, the packaging is just chubbier. Gentle is a fair cool taupe. Let's swatch it right here. Yeah, they're so pigmented. Ooh, I don't know about this. Mellow is a light cool brown. These are supposed to be kind of contours from what my understanding. I think that one will work well. And Solace is a medium cool taupe. This is the one that I first was attracted to from online pictures, but when I swatched it in store, it was very, very deep. So those are the 3 lightest shades, and you can see how pigmented they are. I am gonna try to blend them out. Yeah, they're very smooth, but very pigmented. See that middle one? I feel like I'm gonna like that one because it's not that pigmented. And this deepest one, whew, is deep. But those are the 3 shades blended out. Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards this one, but I think the fair one or the Gentle would be great for contour. Let's test them out. I am going to start with Gentle, which is the lightest one. Now, most of the time I would put it on my hand and then take a brush and work the product into the brush and then go on my cheeks, but I really am curious to see how these blend out straight from the applicator because I feel like most people are going to want to do that, you know, just kind of dot it around. So I'm going to just be gentle, put 2 dots here. Should we start with that? Let's start with that. I just don't know what to expect. I am taking a BK Beauty 106, one of my favorite kind of bronzer contour brushes. Ooh, that's actually beautiful. Okay. It is pigmented, but that blended in very nicely. Okay, I love that shade. Ooh, that's pretty, right? That is so beautiful and blended in so nicely. Here is Gentle, and I think it's really beautiful. It's cool tone without being too cool tone. I love that, actually. It just gives me that shadow. You see right here? I don't have that here. It's just enough, you know? I actually really like that. Let's see if it's patchy at all. No, I don't see any patchiness. My skin is not in the best shape. I don't know what's been happening. I think it's the dry air because it's winter. I am peeling and I just have really flaky skin and a lot of texture to it. So eczema and things like that. So disregard that if you see it. But yeah, this blended in really nicely. Okay, on the other side, I kind of want to go with the color Solace because these two to me seem the most contourish shade, and then the shade Mellow looks more like almost a bronzer. So I kind of want to see these side by side. What do you guys think? I wish you could tell me. But let's take the color Solace, and again, I'm going to be very gentle, like 1.5 dot right there. And then I'm taking another brush. This is another BK Beauty 116. Actually, I don't want that. I want the 107. And okay, blending this out. Okay, so they do blend out really nicely, even though they're extremely pigmented. Okay, look how nice that blended. Oh, yay. I really was worried that these are going to be just as pigmented as the blushes, but to me they seem to sheer out much more than the blushes, which is great. I want this formula in the blushes. Don't get me wrong, I do appreciate the blushes. There's some beautiful shades and I've used them, but I can't say that they're my #1 blush formula because of that. They're just too pigmented in my opinion. Okay, that's pretty as well. I'm actually glad I put these side by side so you guys can see the difference. So it's not as cool tone as Gentle, which usually if you have more cool tone, they almost appear deeper than a lot more warmth. So that is the difference between them. I do want to build up Solace just a little bit. I'm kind of scraping the sides and just adding a little bit more. I do like the applicators from Rare Beauty. I really like the packaging from them. It's easy, simple. Yeah, I don't see it separating. I don't have a full coverage foundation. I have a very light layer of this Huda Blur, but I really mixed it with a very hydrating moisturizer like the Milk, what is this? Ilia Milk Face Base. That way I can sheer this out much more, so I don't have a ton of coverage under it. So you will see my skin some, but I really like it. I can hear my dryer going crazy right now. Here are the two shades, Gentle and then Solace. And I think they both look beautiful. Definitely Gentle looks more like a contour on me. This one, I could even use it as a contour bronzer. I don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards this one a little bit more. I think a Gentle, I would use it to full on contour, like my nose, my lips, just like a shadow. But these, I'm most likely going to combine different colors if I want a little bit more contour, if I want just a little bit more bronze. But yeah, these are the two shades. I'm trying to think how I could incorporate the Mellow without wiping this off because I want to see kind of the difference between them. I think I should take Mellow and kind of dot it up here because I think this is going to be a little bit more, almost like a contour. I need a fluffy brush. I am taking an Olwayn Goss that doesn't exist anymore. This one definitely has a little bit more warmth than the other two, but it's still a great contour shade. Let me wipe this off and I want to see these two side by side. If you're curious about the comparison between the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer or Serum and these, they're very different. The skin enhancers are very light. They don't pack a ton of pigment and just the shades are very different. This is light medium. You see the warmth there. And then let's do Mellow, which is the least cool tone out of all of them. Yeah, they're very, very different. Let me swatch the actual skin enhancer. This one right here in light medium. Here they are swatched side by side. Let me blend this out a little bit because I think that will give you a better idea. So you can see that the Rare Beauty is just so much more pigmented than the Makeup by Mario ones. I do think the undertones are more similar in the Skin Enhancer and Rare Beauty rather than obviously the serum, which I really like because this shade, the light medium from Makeup by Mario, is my favorite kind of natural contour. So that's exciting. I'm excited to try this. Okay, I wiped that contour off and added just a little bit more foundation. Let's go for the shade Mellow. I'm gonna do the same thing, add just 2 dots. And I'm taking, again, the BK Beauty 107. I did try to clean it up a little bit because I really like the way this blends in the product. Yeah, it has a lot more warmth to it. But I love this. I would use this as a kind of bronzer contour. On me, it looks like a good bronzer shade. Oh, that is so beautiful. Very easy to blend out. Actually quite surprising. I was expecting them to be just a little harder to blend out, too pigmented. But I actually really, really like it. Here is Solace. And then here we have Mellow. And I think it's an obvious difference, at least in person. This definitely has a little bit more warmth. This is just more cool tone, more of a shadow effect. But this Mellow, I could absolutely use it as a bronzer contour. Yeah. I thought that these blended out really nicely, surprisingly nicely. I am really liking these products. I think they're beautiful. I have no idea what people are saying about them online. I try to stay away from any reviews. I'm really liking Mellow. But I found the application very easy. So far, I haven't had issues with it removing my foundation necessarily. But again, I had a very, very light layer of foundation. With heavier foundations or some thicker ones, I probably would put the product on my hand, work it into the brush, and then go on my cheeks or my, contour, because I could see these lifting and moving the product underneath just because they're so wet. But I personally did not have an issue, so I'm really excited. I'm going to take Gentle and try to contour my nose a little bit. I do like using a color that's just a little bit more gray, like a true contour on my nose, just to kind of contour the tip here, and the leftover, I just bring it up. I don't do anything crazy except here. Ooh, and I actually really like that color for it. I think this would be good for around the lips, but I already have lip product on, so there's that. I like that. I like that. I'm just going to even everything out a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of Solace to contour here, and then a little bit of Mellow to bronze up here. And then we can move on to the eyes. Oh, actually, no, the Armani highlighter. Like, look how fast that was to blend out. I love this. I am giving these Rare Beauty a thumbs up. I like them. I like the formula. They're pigmented, but they blend out quite nicely, which I really, really like. They do remind me a little bit of the Say bronzers, like liquid bronzers. These are just not as whipped. These are a little bit more liquid. So yeah, if you like kind of that style of bronzers, I think you're gonna like these a lot. And if you're scared about the blushes, like those were so pigmented and it's hard for you to use them, these are just easier to use. They definitely blend into the skin much easier, and the pigment almost disperses really nicely compared to the blushes. So I love those quite a lot. Okay, let's move on to the Armani Liquid Highlighters. I did not know that these were coming out. Sometimes Armani sends me PRs, sometimes they don't, but they're usually late, like they'll send it a month later. So I saw these in store and I was like, oh, what are those? I'm excited. I love anything Armani Luminous Silk. So let's try them on. I have 2 shades. I have the shade 1 and 3. I think there's 5 shades, I want to say. The lightest one is this one that looks very, very white. I'm going to put it here. Very, very light. And then shade 3 is more of a rosy shade. There was a shade in between 2, and it was more of a golden tone, and I don't like a golden highlighter. So these were the two shades that I thought would be beautiful. Blending this out, it blends in very, very nicely. I have not put these on my cheeks, just on my hand. Yeah, they seem natural. I don't see any glitter. If anything, the lighter one may have a little bit of something in it. I'm gonna swatch it one more time here on my hand just to see if I can see any actual sparkles. I don't see it here, but maybe natural light, because I remember swatching them in store and I thought that this one had just a little bit of sparkle. But here in this light, it looks very, very smooth. We'll see. Let's try them on. Because the formula is so light, I'm actually just gonna go straight on and use our fingers. Why not? Most of the time I do this either way, so. Okay, this is, as you can see, very bright, which I knew buying this it would be because it's straight up white. Ooh, maybe a little bit bright for me. I'm trying to look up close to see if it lifted some of the foundation. I feel like right here where I had powdered, maybe there's some disturbance there, but not here. You can see I kind of brought it into my eyelid a little bit too much. That's my fault. I'm going to take my concealer brush, which this is from Sarah Creel Concealer Brush. I love this brush so much. So I'm just going to try to blend that together. If you like a bright highlighter, you're gonna like this. It definitely looks wet on my cheeks. I actually like that. Okay, let's try the other color. This is the one that I feel like I'm gonna like more. Reminds me a little bit of the Peau de Pêche highlighter. And I'm going to use this kind of all over the cheek because it does have a little bit of a rose tint. So maybe I'm hoping it'll give me a flush of color. I definitely like this color better. It's still quite bright. I am having a hard time seeing if this lifted or not because I have such light base on that I don't know if it lifted some or it didn't. I don't have any blush, of course. So you can see this one is brighter, whiter. And then this one's softer. I personally prefer this one. And I do think that this would be a product that I would use quite a lot. Probably work it into my hand first and then go over. These are softer though. They're not blinding like some other ones. But I do like the wet almost effect that it has. I'm going to put a little bit more on this side. I'm going to use this brush from Sonia G, the classic base, and build it up here. I think I would like this application better. So I don't think it removes product. I actually think it adds a little bit of a tint. You see that tint? A little bit of a rosiness to it, kind of like the Peau de Pêche does for me. So I don't think it's lifting the product. I really think that it just gives just a little bit of rosiness. It's very soft. This one is truly so soft. You have to like a natural highlighter. This is definitely more beaming. And as you saw, using your hands, it will give you a lot more glow than using a brush like this. But I personally like this. I don't think it's necessary though. I really don't think it's necessary. I think we have other highlighters that are just as good. I'm going to play with them more. I think the white one is a little bit more unique because it's so bright. Let's put this one right here. And I'm actually going to go off my hand because look how bright it is. So I just want to be a little bit more gentle with this and more specific, like go right here and maybe right here on the nose a little bit. Yeah, I'm leaning towards the white one being a little bit more unique and a little bit more intense. It's quite unique. I actually kind of like that, like a lot. Okay, I feel like I'm changing my mind like 5 times in this video. So that's the highlighter, and I actually really like the effect that it has on. I just don't think it's something necessary. Like we have these kinds of highlighters probably already in our collection. that I don't think you need to go and spend the money on it. But if you're interested in it, I do like it. And I'm leaning towards the really white one. I think that this color I don't personally have in my collection. And so far I don't see sparkles, but I do remember swatching it in store and thinking, oh, this has some sparkles in it. So maybe in different lightings, you're going to see some of that. In different lightings, you're not going to see it. But yeah, I really like the effect that it has. It makes me look very kind of glowy and almost wet, which I like, but are these necessary? No. I need a blush, so I will take a little bit of this Patrick Ta in the shade She's Seductive. I've done a reel with the red one, and again, like I mentioned, I'm going to do a full try on in my next video, but this is the shade She's Seductive, and it looks so good. So I just really want to try this on real quick. I'll give you a sneak peek. I'm not going to try to compare it or anything right now. But wow. Wow. Yes. This is the powder. And I will add a little bit of the cream on top of it. I don't want a ton of blush right now. Just a little bit. Oh my gosh, I actually love this color so much. Okay, and then a little bit of the cream, which is always the exciting part for me. I think it makes everything come together. And with a highlighter, combining these, ooh, yes. And the last product I want to test out is this NATASHA DENONA Mini Eye Sculpt palette. I really am excited about this. It looks super boring, but it's exactly what I like. It seems like there's some neutral undertones, but this brown looks kind of warm. I love that she's giving us a black in here, so I'm actually quite excited about this palette. Here are the swatches. They felt nice and creamy, pigmented, but not like too much. I think this is going to be beautiful. This is going to be a go-to palette for me. I just love small palettes. I am recording a massive declutter where I'm hoping to get rid of pretty much half of my makeup. I just hate that it's going to be expired and have to throw it out. And I have so many different groups of friends that would love, you know, some of the makeup. So I'm doing that, and I think I'm going to get rid of so many big palettes because I do not touch them. I never touch them. I just don't reach for them, and I would love somebody else to be able to enjoy them. And I used to do a whole lot of events and makeup for different photo shoots and things like that where I needed a ton of different colors. But I took a break from that just until the kids are a little older. So yeah, I don't need them anymore. That color is absolutely stunning. It's this one, by the way. I didn't even show you. But that looks stunning. That in the crease and a little bit of that dark brown as a liner, that's all I really need. Blend it out really nicely. Okay, I'm liking this. At this point, I'm expecting all of these to be incredible because I do like NATASHA DENONA formula. I like her mattes. So it's just a matter of, do I like the colors at this point? And these colors are very much me. Somebody is using a chainsaw. And it kind of sounds like it's Andrew in the garage. He better not. He knows I'm recording. I'm taking this brown right here and just building this outer area just a little bit. Just want a little bit more depth. That's nice. You can kind of see the depth compared to the other eye. I really like these tones. I am not trying to create an actual makeup look. I'm just trying to see how the colors look. I took this deeper brown and just working it on the lash line and up. My mirror is very far away, by the way. So hopefully we're doing something right here. If not, we'll just kind of squeeze our eyes and it'll be fine. And then a fluffy brush. Okay, so this color, I thought it would be much more warmer, and it's actually quite neutral, which I like. I think that's surprisingly pretty. Oh my gosh, I love this palette. It was Andrew cutting the wood. He stopped for us. But we're almost done here. We're almost done. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying because I got distracted by the noise, but I'm loving this. I'm going to take the lightest shade, which seems quite pigmented, and I'm just going to want to brighten this area here. That's soft. That's nice. It almost cleans up my look. And I like that it's not straight up white. It's beigey, which for my skin tone works well. It doesn't wash me out. It's a big old brush. It's an old Zoeva brush. So I'm going to brighten this up here as well. And last color, I will take the black one and just kind of tight line and bring a little bit of depth here. Maybe I should get a mirror. Here. Patrick Tattoo the save. Ooh, I have stuff all over. The fact that I didn't even use a mirror, like the mirror's far away and I'm blind. I cannot see far away at all. I need my glasses for that. That means that this is very beginner friendly, or, you know, in a rush or something. The palette would work really well. And even the black. Okay, so many times the black is so intense that it has a hard time blending out. But this one works really well. It's still black. It's not that blue black. It's like a true black. But it was quite easy to blend out. So I am loving this palette. It's been a while since I really, you know, fall in love with a new eyeshadow palette. But I think this is going to be it. This is kind of like the Mink Mirage. Was that it? Or the Tom Ford palette that everybody used to love, which I don't have, sadly, and it's discontinued. It was like 4 matte colors. This one reminds me of that, like a good basic palette. And then I'm just going to take this lighter shade to clean up everything and blend it all together. Yeah, this is going to be a go-to palette for me. That's it, guys. Let me go put mascara on, and then I'll come back with my final thoughts on everything. Here is the eye look all finished. Simple, kind of basic, but something that it would be my go-to look. I love this one. So let me just finish my thoughts on this. I think this is a great everyday palette. If you just need something to sculpt your eyes, which is exactly what this does, this is perfect. You could also go smokier. You could take these shades and go all over the lid. You have the black. I feel like you have everything you need in here, and maybe get some sparkly like single shadow like the Patrick Ta Duos or something like that. But I love this one. I truly really like it. The formula was great. I had no issues. So this is going to be a go-to for me. I know it. The mascara I use, by the way, is the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara. I have a couple backups and I really like it. I think it's beautiful. Final thoughts on the other products. I love the Rare Beauty bronzers, actually contours. These are beautiful. They blend in. You guys saw how easy it was to work with them. I will speak on longevity and all of that in another video, probably in my favorites video, because I think I need to test these out. But just application wise, the way they sit on the skin so far, I think it's very seamless, very beautiful, and hopefully showing you the colors side by side will help you decide which color to get. But I'm gonna get use out of all 3 colors. But if I had to pick only one, I think I would go with Mellow. I think it's a beautiful bronzy color that I could almost use it as a contour as well. And the Armani Liquid Highlighters, like I mentioned, they were nice. They worked really well. But is it something so revolutionary, so special? No, but I have to admit that I was doing my mascara. Sorry, something tickles me. But I was doing my mascara and I was really up close in the mirror and I kept admiring kind of like how the cheeks look like. They looked healthy, and it almost looked like the highlighter has meshed into the skin and kind of became one. It wasn't sitting on top of the skin at all. So I do like the way these look, but again, it's nothing revolutionary. These are $39 a piece, so they're very expensive. You can definitely find better options that are cheaper. So those are my thoughts on all these products. Actually quite surprised how much I like this NATASHA Denona one. I kind of just threw this in the bag because I've been meaning to test it out and I actually love it. so much. It's one that I'm probably the most excited about. But those are my thoughts on these new products. Now for the Patrick Ta blush, I'll give you more swatches and thoughts in my next video. I do love this color. I feel like this is a perfect color for me every day. It's absolutely stunning. But again, more swatches and comparison in my next video. And I got a lot of questions about the new YSL powder blushes. I will pick some of those up. And my local dealer said that they were going to have them in stock any day now. And I kind of wanted to go see them in person. I don't want to buy them all. I want to buy like 2 colors, maybe 3. And I will definitely review those for you. But I kind of want to see them in person and not just order online. So those are all coming as well. But thank you so much for watching. Hope this was helpful. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.